Alright guys, so this is a video for 30.3 notes. You can follow along. Also pause it at any time if I'm going too fast and you're still figuring, or if you want to try the problem first without me going over it. So today we're doing area of a rhombus and area of a trapezoid. So the formula for area of a rhombus is 1/2 diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. The formula for trapezoid is 1/2 height, base 1, plus base 2. You'll notice that the height here has to be perpendicular, just like it did when we did the notes yesterday, to the two bases. So base 1 and base 2, doesn't matter which one's which because you're just adding. The height has to be perpendicular. So question number 1, find the area of the polygon. So you're going to write your formula again. Just copy this one. Okay, so we have our formula for area of this trapezoid. Let's go ahead and plug in what we know. We know that the height is 4, and the bases are 7 and 9. Sorry about the writing, it's going to just be sloppy because I don't have a smart board to do it well. Go ahead and type all that in, you're going to get 32 feet squared. Your area is always going to be something squared, feet squared, inches squared, because this is feet and this is in feet. Part B, this is a rhombus. I know that because it has all four sides the same, like a smush square. So that's going to be area equals 1/2 diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. Now this is 12. This is actually also going to be 12, so that makes 24. The reason they're alike is because one of the properties we learned a while ago was diagonals are perpendicular. And if you look, they both have a hypotenuse in common, and they share this leg. So by HL, these triangles are congruent, which makes these parts congruent. So 12 and 12. And then for the same reason, this is 18. This will also be 18, so that diagonal is 36. Type that in for an answer of 432 meters squared. Number 2, we have another rhombus, so it's going to be area equals 1/2 diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. Your diagonal is given right here, that's 6. We don't know our other diagonal, but it's going to be right here, and the other part will be there. Let's figure out just this part first, and then we'll double it. So if you look at this triangle that we have here, we have a right triangle. This is going to be 3. So go ahead right now and do Pythagorean theorem to find x. You should get 4. And if this is 4, then this part is also 4, making 8. That, when you type it in, comes out to 24 inches squared. Sorry, that would be feet squared. That little mark right here means feet. Number 3, area of the trapezoid. Again, 1/2 height, which is 4 feet. And then base 1 plus, we don't know base 2. We need to figure out this base here. We know that from here to here, just like it is up here, is going to be 2. But we need to figure out this part. So let's figure out, we'll call this x. Again, we'll make a right triangle. Pretty much anytime you don't know something, make a right triangle and do Pythagorean theorem or trig. So go ahead right now, do Pythagorean theorem. X squared plus 4 squared is 5 squared. Pause the video. We should get 3. This triangle over here is also the same size as the other triangle. So if this one is 3, this one is 3. So my base is 3 and 2 and 3, which makes 8. So my answer then is 20 feet squared. Okay, let's give this one a try. Here's my formula. We don't know the height. We do know the bases are 4 and 9. The bases will always be perpendicular, and the height, bases will always be parallel to one another, but perpendicular to the height. So this is the height. I drew it here instead of out here, so that I can make a triangle. So this is H. If this whole thing is 9, and this part's 4, this part is 5. Well, remember your 45-45-90 rules is there's two angles alike, 45-45. So if this is 5, this is 5. You could also do trig if you forgot. But if it's 5, this is 5. The two angles alike, two sides alike. That's how I get my height. And then that answer is 32.5 inches squared. Feet squared, sorry. Number 4. Looks like we have a base of 12 and a base of 20. Fill those in. Let's find our height. Again, we always are making triangles to find a missing part. I need to find that. That's my height. So right now there's not many numbers in this triangle, but I can figure out this one down here. Because if this whole thing is 20, and this is 12, then these two parts are alike. So what would be left? 20 and subtract 12, that would be 8. So this would be 4 and 4. Again, I have a 45-45-90 triangle, so if these two angles are alike, these two sides are alike, and they are both 4. That gives me an answer of 64 inches squared. Okay, here we don't have much. All we have is one base, so fill that in. So one of my bases is 26. Your height is going to be right there in this triangle. 60 is right there. So we're going to do trig. So look at what I have. I have 60 degrees right here. I have the opposite and the hypotenuse. So I'm going to do sine of 60. Equals opposite over hypotenuse. Go ahead and cross multiply to find your height. Pause the video if you need to. So my height is 12.124. And now I need to find my other base. So this is 26. How big is this? Well, let's divide this thing up. If I could figure out this piece here, that would match this piece here, and that could tell me how big this piece is. So let's call this x. Let's use trig again. Remember, I have 60 degrees. This would be the adjacent side and the hypotenuse. So cosine 60. Cross multiply and solve. you'll get 7. Now 7 is not my base. 7 is this part, which is also over here because they match. So if the whole thing is 26, and I want to get rid of 7 and 7, that will leave me with this piece, which is 12. Type all that in, you get 230.36 inches squared. I'm going to pause the video, and I have to do it in 2 parts so that it can download. So go ahead and watch the second part of this video next.